This is the massive, heavy tote bag full of perfumes I brought back from NYC. Honestly surprised that TSA let me get through the airport with these. Welcome to my unhinged NYC perfume haul video. I have a mix of niche, indie, designer perfumes, discovery sets, travel sizes, and full bottles. So there's a little bit of everything in here. If you haven't seen me before, my name is Amira. Welcome to my channel, Amira Aromas, where I explore all kinds of perfume content. I am a perfume collector and fragrance reviewer and really just a fragrance enthusiast. So definitely hit subscribe if you want to explore the world of perfumery with me. There's a lot in here. I hope you're ready. But let's start with what I got at ScentXplore. So that's why I was in NYC to begin with. I attended an event called ScentXplore, an international niche perfumery convention. I got to meet a lot of different brands, sniff a lot of different perfumes, and I only got 2 things at ScentXplore. So I was very proud of myself, but then I made up for it with my irresponsibility at all the NYC perfume boutiques after ScentXplore. But at ScentXplore, I got first this discovery set from the brand Blackcliff. Blackcliff is a niche perfume brand, Black owned, founded by a couple from Barbados. And when I sniffed their perfumes at their booth at ScentXplore, I pretty much loved almost all of them. So I definitely wanted to take home a discovery set to be able to explore these on my own time, do wear tests of them, and I'm super excited and looking forward to these. The bottles are also like little black stone boulders that have like a little cliff on them, so they're really cool looking. The only other item I got at ScentXplore was a travel size of this Arquiste fragrance, one of their new fragrances, the Architects Club. So the Architects Club is a very complex, sexy vanilla fragrance. It is definitely unisex. It has a deep dark vanilla, but it also has a lot of woods and some green notes, angelica, juniper berries. So really complex, really interesting. Anyone could wear this. I could definitely see this going for a date night. It's very like fall and winter coated. Arquiste is also a Mexican founded brand. I got to meet the founder at ScentXplore and he was the kindest human, also with the cutest little puppy named Chorizo. So that was really fun to be able to meet him and talk through the fragrances with him. One of the days after the ScentXplore Expo ended, I also went to a couple of pop-ups and launch parties for 2 Black-owned perfume brands. One was the Elemental. The fragrances are amazing, so interesting and unique. The other one was Zernell Gillie. I was familiar with Zernell Gillie before. I do have one of his other fragrances, Disco, and I knew I needed to pick up another one of my favorites from him called Hip Hop. Zernell Gillie is a DJ and bases his fragrances off of the music genres that he loves. Hip hop is a gorgeous, like, complex but totally easygoing is his vibe in like almost all of his perfumes. Look how cute this little bottle is. This is an X-Straight, and although this is pretty fresh of a fragrance, it is strong and is very long wearing, let me tell you. It's so refreshing. It has like a nice grapefruit to it. It has a really beautiful cognac in it. It has like a chocolatiness to it as well. And it's completely unisex. I do feel like this leans maybe just slightly masculine, but it's such a beautiful composition. I couldn't stop thinking about it. I knew for months that I loved this scent, so I just decided to bite the bullet and buy it for myself. And let me tell you, he's a crowd favorite. I got home with it and my husband smelled it and he was like, "Oh, is this for me?" And I said, "No, this is for me. You may share it at times with me." So he was glad to be able to share it with me. However, we were staying with his friend who so kindly hosted us in NYC for 10 days. And his friend sprayed it on himself to test it too. He also loves fragrances, not as much as I do, but he loves fragrances. And he fell in love with hip hop. He was like, "What is this called again? What's the brand? How much is it? Where can I get it?" So, spoiler alert, I did actually have to go and buy another bottle of this to give him as a host present for letting us stay with him for 10 days in NYC. And I'll just say Zernell Gillie is the sweetest. I only interacted with him online on social media a couple times, like a couple comments here and there, a couple of tagged videos. And I was walking past him at ScentXplore and he was like, Amira? And I was shocked that he actually remembered my name and what I look like. So that was very kind of him. Okay, sorry, I had some slight technical difficulties, so if the framing looks different, that's why. Restarting this. All right, so after ScentXplore and the pop-ups that I went to, I stopped into Bergdorf Goodman. And as good as I was in the preceding days, I'm going to say that I blacked out and pretty much bought everything. So let's start with what I got at Bergdorf Goodman. First thing I did when I stopped in Bergdorf was go to the Dries van Noten counter and sniffed all of their perfumes. I don't know if you know this, but exclusively at the Bergdorf NYC location, they offer travel sizes of Dries van Noten fragrances. So these run about $40 each, I believe, and the two that I chose to get in the travel size format, because I couldn't get a great feel for the line there, I really wanted to be able to wear test my favorites. So I got Soie Malacé, of course, everyone's favorite, and there's a reason why. I ended up wearing this 2 days in a row. You can see my little dent there in the travel spray in New York City, and I absolutely loved it and got compliments. My husband was like, you smell so good. I also really liked Santal Greenery from Dries van Noten. Sandalwood is not one of my favorite notes, so I was actually really surprised that I liked Santal Greenery so much. It does have a prominent fig note in there, which I love, so that's probably why. This one's a lot more unisex, and it does give me a little bit of like new car smell. I'm not sure why. It also gives me like a hotel lobby perfume fragrance too. So I really like that scent profile. So those were the travel sprays I bought from Dries van Noten. Rose Ikebana from Hermes. This is from their private collection, the Hermescence collection. The reason I bought this fragrance is because of a note that's not even listed in the notes description. But this is Rose Ikebana. You can see that. It's a lovely leather cap, which is really nice. Does have that Hermes stitching and a slight tint to the bottom here. Yeah, I think you're able to catch that on camera now. But the notes here are really simple. It's rose and rhubarb. I think there might be like green notes too. The reason I bought this is because it is a grapefruit dominant fragrance that's not listed in the notes, but the perfumer, I believe his name is Jean-Claude Elena, is known for his signature grapefruit that he's infused in a lot of the Hermes line as a whole. So even though grapefruit isn't listed, this is a very dominant grapefruit perfume. I have been wanting a grapefruit focused perfume, so this kind of filled that gap for me in my collection. At the Hermes counter, Jose was able to hook me up with a lot of samples too, so thank you, Jose. I got some lipstick samples. I got a little mini of the Eau de Merveille, which I haven't tried yet. I got a couple of samples of other fragrances in the Hermescences collection. Ombre Narguilé, as well as a sample of Rose Ikebana that I can put in my purse when I'm traveling. And I also got a little mini of Oud Alezan, which is also part of the Hermescence collection, I believe. So hooked me up there. Thank you, Jose. Next, I stopped at the Marc-Antoine Barrois counter and picked up a 30 ml bottle of Tilia. Tilia has been on my wish list for a while now, a few months, and I have been wanting to add that bottle to my collection. I'm so glad they had the 30 ml size too, because she's strong. She's a strong perfume. So let me put that up close for you. Tilia, that beautiful bottle. This is like a honeyed floral fragrance, and it has like a really interesting linden blossom note, which to me reads like hay, kind of. So it's like a yellow honeyed floral with like a touch of hay to it. It sounds weird, but it is so nice to wear and such like an interesting fragrance. Like I said, she's strong. So I really just needed the 30 ml of this. Next at the Diptyque counter, I gave in and I got the set of their Les Essences collection. I'm saying I gave in because I actually already own a full bottle of Lilifea. But I really wanted to test the other fragrances in the collection. This is the Les Essences collection. Obviously these are little minis, little coffrets. And when I tested them at the counter, I had only tried Lilifea from the line before. I pretty much liked all of them. So I really wanted to be able to experience the whole Les Essences collection and got the set. I am disappointed though that these are dabbers. I knew that beforehand, but it's still disappointing. So I think I'm gonna have to decant these cute little bottles into an atomizer so I can actually spray them all over me. But all of the fragrances in the line are so, so good. One of my favorite finds from my trip to Bergdorf was at the Guerlain counter. I actually hadn't smelled any of the Guerlain private collection prior to this. I live in kind of a niche and luxury perfume desert, so I don't have access to a lot, almost all basically, of the perfume brands that were at Bergdorf, which is why I kind of went buck wild. But my favorite from the Guerlain private collection was Angelique Noir. Of course, this is a really big fan favorite from the line. It's been around for a long time now, I think close to 20 years now. I did actually want the 100 milliliter bottle, but they didn't have it in stock. They didn't have the 50 ml in stock either. It's so popular. But he ended up getting the 50 ml in stock a couple days later, so I came back to the store to pick it up. So this is Angelique Noir. This is like the epitome of like a hotel lobby, complex but very refined and elegant vanilla fragrance. Vanilla is tough for me, but this is beautiful. I was able to customize the bottle a bit, so I did the hammered gold, there we go, cap there with the gold thread and the black emblem. So really excited for this, and I was able to get it engraved too with my name, Amira Aromas. So I love this little bottle. I'm gonna be cherishing this for sure. And last but not least, from Bergdorf Goodman, I sampled this perfume in Bergdorf, but they were sold out of it completely because it's so popular. So I actually had to order it online straight from Dior. This is Rouge Trafalgar, the extrait version, Esprit de Parfum. So this smells so dang good. The bottle is a little utilitarian, but it's still super luxurious. Let me give you a close-up of that. Look at that bright red juice. This smells like a complex, dark, elevated strawberry fragrance. There's also some really beautiful dark florals in here as well. But the main thing that I get is strawberry with like some other red fruits too, maybe some cherry as well. My husband sniffed this with me. We both were like testing the fragrances, and he said, if you buy that, I'm stealing it from you. He can try. This is now the most expensive bottle of perfume I have in my collection. But it's really darn good. So that's definitely a highlight. There was one other perfume that I sampled at Bergdorf that I absolutely fell in love with. It was Prado by Loewe. Their Paseo por Madrid collection, which is like a limited run collection that they just recently came out with. There's only like 600 bottles made of each fragrance worldwide, or so they told me. They didn't have Prado in stock, or they actually never got it in, is what they told me, to that store. So I had to order it online from Loewe. I absolutely fell in love with it. It is a tea fragrance. It has a dominant chamomile note. It also has sage and carrot, I believe. But even though all of those notes sound very earthy and herbal, it has a very distinct sweetness to it too, though. It was gorgeous on the skin and I couldn't stop thinking about it. Ordered it online. It'll be here in a couple of days. So those were all of the perfumes that I sampled, purchased in store, and ordered online if they were out of stock from Bergdorf. They also gave me a lot of really great samples. Marc-Antoine Barrois samples, another Hermes sample. Guerlain gave me lots of great samples from their new X-Rates collection, the Tonka Serapia, as well as Patchouli Paris, and I think the vanilla one as well. And I got some other samples as well. So I stocked up at Bergdorf, but that wasn't the only place I went in New York City. So I also went to a launch party for an indie woman-owned perfume brand called Mabelle. The launch party took place at Stéle, which was in Brooklyn, which is a niche perfumery store. So this is an indie women-owned brand. She's Lebanese from the UK, and I absolutely loved the Mabelle line. She has 3 fragrances, one that was just recently launched, which was the launch party, but this was her second fragrance, I believe, Forbidden Bloom. That's the one that I wanted to purchase, although literally all 3 were so lovely. And I'm usually so picky with fragrances. I know it doesn't seem like it, but I really usually am. And I liked all 3 of her fragrances. So Forbidden Bloom has dominant notes of peach and pear, as well as florals such as frangipani and gardenia. And it has a really interesting hint of coffee in the background too, and maybe a wood or two. So here's the bottle. There is a bit of a metallic label on there, which is really pretty. This is an X-Straight 2, I believe. It smells so good, so good. This is a complex pear peachy fragrance with that frangipani and gardenia in the mids. I don't actually have any perfumes in my collection with frangipani or gardenia in them. So that was definitely a gap that I was wanting to fill. It smells so beautiful. You could wear this in the daytime. You could wear it for a date in the evening. It's just a really pretty, like, peach pear, floral, but deep fragrance. There's complexity in it. There's a depth in the background due to the coffee, and I believe some woods as well. So absolutely beautiful. Also at Stéle, I ended up buying the Njie Discovery Set. So I'm super excited to be able to go through this discovery set. This discovery set also comes with like postcards that are photographs that represent each of the, let's see how many, 6 fragrances in this discovery set. So I'm just super excited to be able to go through this and learn more about this woman-founded perfume brand as well. Okay, while I was in New York, I did pass by a Sephora and I wanted to go in and get a couple of Kayali fragrances. I know there's nothing absolutely mind-boggling about these, but I have this little duo mini set of the Vanilla Candy Rock Sugar and Vanilla 28 perfumes that I have found are perfect for layering with other fragrances. If I feel like I want to sweeten something up or something is leaning a little bit too masculine on my skin. So those do not have atomizers. So I actually got these travel sizes of those two fragrances as well, just because they do have sprayers on them and it's a lot easier to layer with other perfumes. So I got those at Sephora. We're getting to the very end here. My last stop on my perfume shopping extravaganza in New York City was in Soho, where I went to two boutiques. First was Scent Bar. Of course I had to stop into Scent Bar. I literally just gave her my phone with a list of perfumes that were on my wish list to try, and she just brought me all the bottles that I've been dying to try and haven't had access to locally. The one that I fell in love with immediately was Hyper Musk by Courreges. This looks super futuristic when you open it. That is the perfume bottle. It's definitely going to reflect on here because it is chrome, but that is the perfume bottle. This is Hyper Musk. And this smells like, believe it or not, candy canes. This is a vanilla and mint perfume. It has a bit of musk and ambroxan in the background too, but I mostly get vanilla and mint. There's a slight pepperiness to this as well, but really it's a candy cane perfume. I love me a good mint note, and this is that. This is a good mint note. So I'm super excited for this, especially for the holidays. It is kind of a festive perfume. And last but not least, in my entire perfume haul, I went to Oficina, Profumo, Santa Maria Novella. This is a perfume boutique, perfume house actually, that was founded in the year 1221. So it is what, 800 years old? This was founded by the Medici family in Firenze, Italy. So I definitely wanted to go to the boutique and sniff some of these fragrances that are ancient in their composition. This was the one that I really liked off the bat. I got Njie di Firenze. This is what the bottle looks like. It is beautiful. It also has that engraving in the back as well and on the cap. This initially smells like honeydew at the top in the opening when you first spray it. It has like a sweet, fresh melon honeydew quality to it. And then after that dissipates relatively quickly, unfortunately, it just becomes like a fresh, clean perfume with a bit of sweetness, but it's perfect for spring and summer. You just want something fresh and clean that's great for just out of the shower. This is that. And of course I got some samples too at Santa Maria Novella of another fragrance of theirs, as well as the Freesia. Well, it looks like they're all Freesia, which is another fragrance of theirs. We got bath soap, hand soap, and the perfume. So all in all, I got 9 full bottles. That's if you're including the 2 that I ordered online, one that I've received thus far and one that's still coming to me. 5 travel sprays. That's not including all of the like mini perfumes. There were another 5 coffrets in the Diptyque set, countless other mini perfumes and samples, and 2 discovery sets. Am I a little embarrassed about all that I got? Yes. Do I regret it? Not really. No. As a disclaimer, I mentioned I do live in an area where I have basically no access to niche or luxury perfume stores. I can't sniff readily all of the perfumes that I want to sniff. So I definitely saved up for this trip, knowing I was gonna have access to a lot of the stuff that I don't normally have access to. So disclaimer there. I'm also just plain irresponsible with my money, so there's that too. But this was definitely something I had been looking forward to for about 6 months and prepared to come back with a lot of new perfumes to my collection. And I do plan on basically doing a no-buy for probably the first half of 2025 at least. So thank you for following along with my unhinged NYC perfume haul. I hope you enjoyed it. I will be reviewing a lot of these perfumes, especially the Discovery sets. So definitely hit subscribe if you liked this video and shoot me a like if you want to as well. I have to make space for all of these new perfumes now in my perfume cabinet, but I look forward to talking perfumes with you more later.